Hey everyone, my name is Gunther and welcome back. Today we're checking out a new game called Surviving the Abyss, where we build our own city under the ocean, 7,000 meters, if I'm not mistaken, below the surface of the ocean. It is quite dark and there are some unknown beasts out there. I will let you guys know this is an early access game, and as an early access game, I am pleasantly surprised with the quality of the game in general. Very happy with what it is, and I'm looking forward to see where it goes from. I will let you guys know I have played a little bit of the game, just really to get the hang of it, try to understand what the game plays like. It does remind me a little bit of Frostpunk, a little bit of Ixion, and I know we just came off of Ixion, so figured why not, let's check this game out. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So there are two options. We are going to skip the introduction objectives. We're going to go right ahead into our new game.
In the years following 1956, much came to be known about the structure of DNA and the human genome. The possibility of cloning a human being was becoming a reality, as our brightest minds raced to be the first to complete the endeavor. After a few short years, scientists reported the first promising results. A human being was cloned for the first time. The celebrations, however, were short-lived. The test subjects were unstable, their DNA damaged by the cloning process. All died within days. Moral objections to the technology turned to public outrage. Outrage turned to protests, and eventually protests turned to riots. Publicly, the research was discontinued. The military, however, was quick to understand the strategic potential of this research. Why stop at recreating life when it could be improved? Plans were drawn up to continue the research in total secrecy, far from the prying eyes of the world, deep below the surface of the ocean. The sea floor provides access to new, highly adapted life forms and ample DNA for experimentation. But the deep sea environment presents a significant challenge. You have been selected to lead a team of the best and brightest. The lives of the crew are in your hands.
Alright, well, based off that, nothing ever good comes from giving the military the ability to clone people, so I'm just a tad concerned about that. But welcome to the Abyss, and as you can see, it's quite dark out there. So as a new game, we can only build within the lit areas, so we'll have to deal with the mechanic of light, and as any base building game, we do have our basic resources. We have scrap steel, concrete, quartz glass, iron, aluminum, copper, and lead, which will come into account a little bit later, coal and oil, which will act as our fuel. And speaking of fuel, we have our power and we have oxygen, which is a really cool system. I haven't really played with a whole lot of games that have an oxygen grid that we have to maintain, so that's a whole other level of complexity. And of course, we have our research data. Now, just over here on the other side, we do have our population. We have 12 people. Our food's sitting at 70 food, so not too shabby. And then our type of genomes, which is going to come in handy when we start to clone new people. And then, of course, we have our crew relation effectors. So this is going to let us know how much the crew's happy with us. Right now, they're sitting at 55%. Not good, not bad, but we'll take it as a win. So as with any base building game, we do need to set up the necessities. So let's go with that right off the bat. And right away, my goodness, we do need to set up some mining relays. It's going to help us to get some more resources flowing in, so we need to make sure we can get as much as we can while we have it. And we'll go ahead and assign each of our mining subs. And something I really like about this game, our mining subs are just kind of chilling right here on the base. Not too shabby. We're missing one sub, and I don't know why, but we're missing an exploration sub, so we'll have to build that later down the road. But we will unpause and let our subs get to the game. Now, we also need to set up a few additional not resources. We need to set up a few additional base building mechanics. So we'll go ahead and we're going to start off with setting up just a junction. I find that the junction makes things look kind of nice and neat. Can't go wrong with that. And we're going to have 3 areas coming off of this. We're going to have our food area, which is going to go over here on the left. We're going to have our oxygen, which is on the right, and then we're going to have our population, which is going to be, or sorry, on the center, and our population is going to be on the right. There we go. Proper directions. The only thing I kind of struggle a little bit with the game is the snap points. Can't never get them to work correctly, but we'll get there. There we go. Oh no, I lied. There we go. We got our initial area set up. We are going to set down right off the bat our life supports. We're going to get 1 oxygen generator set up, and I do like to set them up in a nice. I'm a fan of creating things that are symmetrical. I don't know why. I just need to have things symmetrical, so we're going to go ahead with that. We're going to set up our living quarters as well. We'll set up 2 right here, and we need to research something. So we need to get our food situation under hand, and the best way to do that is we need to go to our technology tree. It's broken up to 6 different tabs. We have resources, power, life support, population, exploration, and research and genetics. In this case, we're going to go under life support. We have 2 options: carbohydrate farm and protein harvester. We're going to go ahead with the carbohydrate farm today. So we'll unlock that really quickly. It's going to give us 1 low quality food for every 12 seconds. We definitely need a lot of food, as much as we can initially. So we'll go ahead and set that up. And we need to figure out our power situation. So let's go ahead. We'll create another tunnel and just have it kind of go off kilter a little bit, and we're going to set up our first generator, and I think we're going to set it up like so. I think that makes the most sense. Connect like that, and while everything's building, we will need to set up some power lines. So that's the word I'm looking for. We'll follow the tried and true tunnel system, so we'll go ahead and connect everything like so. And we do have a inbox message. So greetings, Overseer. This message is from Command Station 7,861 meters above you. We hope you got settled in okay. In the coming days and weeks, you'll need to figure out how to supply power, oxygen, and food, and get a stable supply of fuel and building materials. Once basic infrastructure is established, our first big milestone will be a fully functioning cloning lab. Good luck, Overseer. The work you're undertaking will benefit all humanity. I don't know about that. Personally, I think it's a shot in the dark, but all prior experiments in cloning led to the test subjects who suffered from poor health, malnutrition, and could only undertake the simplest of tasks. Your work down here can fix this. We can fix this. I don't think there's a we in this. The time has come. Open the cloning interface and add the desired genomes to the sequence and begin the cloning process. So we're going to get to there. It's gotten a little further ahead than we need to be at this time. So we are running into a situation, and I find that this is a kind of weird little bug. We need oxygen in order for everything to kind of work, but we can't get oxygen without power, and in order for us to get power, we need the coal generator up and running. And we've opted to send down an additional 4 crew members to assist your endeavors. We can always use some more crew members. Before we send them down, we expect the food situation to be stable and adequate housing facilities to be available. We need 2 living quarters and a stockpile of 70 food to ensure we can sustain the larger workforce. And food is going to become a much needed resource as we move through the game. It's the one thing that, I guess it's infinite. Food can be infinite as long as you're okay with carbohydrate farms. So we have to turn everything off. In order for us to turn everything off, we need to do that just so we can get people over at the coal generator ASAP. Overseer, we have the utmost faith in you and to lead this mission, but a project like this requires many great minds. We're planning to send down a specialist engineer to assist with the setup of the facility. Before we give the go-ahead, we need to see progress, stockpile 80 coal to ensure the continued success of the mission. Will do. We do need that coal. Alright, so we have our first coal generator up and running, so now we can kind of start to turn everything else back on. And now we have the foundations of a pretty fantastic base. So while we're waiting for everything to come through, we are going to set up a research lab. So the research lab is going to be what's going to allow us to generate more research. The one thing I like about this game is research is infinite. You don't really have to go look for it. They just generate it automatically. Can't go wrong with that. And in the meantime, we also need to set up a sonar tower. So the sonar tower is going to be how we kind of discover more out there. So we'll go ahead and set up the first one right there. And we'll set up another one right here as well. But we're going to not power this. We're going to save what power we can. And speaking of power, we do have to run a power line as well. We need to make sure our research facility is all set to go. And now while we're doing that, we are going to go to exploration. We are also going to unlock docks. This is going to come in handy later down the road, and we might as well utilize what research we have left to make sure that that happens. Now, the way the sonar tower works, we have 4 beacons. We have fuel, resource, point of interest, and habitats. We're going to start off with a fuel beacon. Hopefully we can find a fuel resource somewhere around. Something's over there. And that's about it. Pretty slim pickings, which is a little concerning. The good news, though, is we have quite a few resources hanging around. We did find a coal extraction point, just shy, so that's good news for us. Concrete, we have a quartz extraction point, we have scrap metal, so okay. I think we have everything that we need in the area. We do have some things over here. We have even more resources over there. We'll go like that. Our goal is just to kind of send out as many of these beacons as possible. Once we've exhausted all the beacons, we can kind of get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. Points of interest. I don't know what this is. It does this all the time. I think it's you can only do this so many times. It's frustrating. And habitats. We need to figure out some habitats. Yeah, it looks like we have a good amount right here. We have 1. And it's uncommon. That does not help us. But we do have 2. We have a common and an uncommon. Perfect. That's a good spot. And coincidentally, it's right next to our coal extraction point. Can't get better than that. So we're going to need to get as much as we can. And I think that's it. I think we are done with this sonar tower. I don't see a reason that we need to have this anymore. So let's go ahead and destroy that. We'll take back some of our resources and turn on the other one. We are not fully functional, and that would make sense. We need some power. All right, so we've set up a pretty easy base to work with. We have some research flowing in, and we need to set up a light tower just over here. Hopefully we can... I think that's actually perfect. We'll take advantage of that. Alright, so how we expand, there's 2 ways to expand in this game. The first one is we can create a daisy chain of power light towers, and we can cover the entire map, which is quite large in the grand scheme of things. Or we can create outposts, and we'll get into outposts later down the road. Now we are running into a situation though, we have used up all of our power. We don't have enough power to maintain all of our buildings, so let's go ahead and we'll put down another coal generator. We'll put down like so. It's going to auto-connect to the existing grid that we've created. And while we're doing that, we might as well also set up our cloning lab. We can't utilize the cloning lab just yet, but we're gonna get there. But we do need it. We need it. That's a given. All right. So once we get our coal generator up and running, we do have 9 unemployed. So we should have enough people to make this work. We also need to unlock 1 additional item. We are going to unlock our coal extractor. So once we've unlocked our coal extractor, we are going to set it up over here. We also need to set up our first dock as well. So we'll take advantage of the downtime, my goodness. And there we go. Perfect. The good news about research, and I kind of like this about this game, research unlocks automatically. There we go. So we're going to set up our coal extractor. My goodness. We also need to set up some oxygen for the area as well. Can't do anything without oxygen. And we need another dock. Like so. That's perfect. So we'll connect the 2 like that, and we'll connect like that, and we are all set. With the exception, we just need to get some power all the way over here. So there's a reason why we're separating our oxygen. So we could run a tunnel. It's close enough that we could do that, but we also have to keep in mind we have a oxygen grid and oxygen air quality. We don't want to contaminate the air. This actually generates a negative 8% to our oxygen quality, so we need to make sure that we keep that in mind. And what this will do is it's going to give us a slight lift in our oxygen or our coal usage. So we're using 3 coal per day to generate power, and we are extracting, I think, 8 right now, so we're good in my books. Now in the meantime, we also need to set up a Where is it? We need to get a fauna trap going, and this is, I think this is the right one. Yes, this is a common one, so we need to set up our fauna trap. And we're going to need to eventually set up a marine stabilizer as well. And we can run the main marine stabilizer off the exact same power and tunnel system. So that's going to... Oh, what's going on here? I don't know what's going on. Something's happening. Oh, I know what's happening. Oh, okay. It's because the building's too high. Great. Okay, so there's an easier fix for this. I think there's an easier fix for this. Let's set up an elevator shaft. And we'll stick it right behind the fauna. So, and we'll have our second. There we go. So the reason why we want to have a marine stabilizer, it's actually going to make sure that we don't exhaust all the bait that we can pull from here. We do need that in order to generate some clones, so we'll go ahead and do that utilizing our cloning lab. So we have our genomes that are collecting right here. We can right now clone 4 people at a time, which is not a bad amount, and we see it right here. It's going to take us approximately 120 seconds or 2 minutes to do so. The people are unhappy that all of your food is low quality. I would agree with them. It's never good to eat low quality food. Some of the crew are becoming aggressive over food rations. What should we do about it? We have 3 options. We are going to give them extra food to make them happy. So let's go ahead with that, and we'll say, okay, we do not have the resources to support even more food at this time, but we do need to get we need to get some people up and running. And what we can do is we are going to pull some people off the cloning lab. We're just going to pull one. We're going to keep this the marine stabilizer up and running. Oh, and we run into a power situation. Fantastic. So I guess we need more power. It's never a good sign. What I do find with the game is that it's a consistent race to ensure that you're not running low on stuff, and you're always running low on stuff. Let's be honest here. In the meantime, we'll send out some more buoys. I think that's everything for that. See if we can get some habitats. Oh, there's something over there. We can get some more resources. Perfect. Well, we'll take the resources. That's exactly what we need. All right, so we are running into a situation. We just don't have enough people to keep the machine running. So we're gonna have to be very self-aware of where we're staffing. But we do have some resources that we can utilize. So we can unlock coal efficiency. So we are gonna get the extra 20% less coal. It's gonna come in handy. We still have 80 research left as well. And I'm not too sure what we want to do with that just yet. Let's go ahead with faster cloning. And we will also unlock the drill extractor, which is going to allow us to get other resources as well when we find them. We do need to find like quartz. We can collect quartz at this point, which is fantastic. That's exactly what we need. All right, so I think we're in a pretty good position. Our base is self-sustaining. We are generating what we need. We failed our last cloning attempt, so let's go ahead and try again. We are replenishing the species as well, and we actually have so what we can do, we can kind of daisy chain this, and it's actually going to help us out. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to set up another fauna trap over here. So because this is an uncommon fauna trap, in order for us to utilize or to extract the resources, we need to have regular bait. So how we're going to do this, we're going to daisy chain this together again. We're going to collect common bait using our fauna trap over here, and from here we're going to go ahead and select our rosefish, and it's going to help us out. So we're going to be able to pull from here. It's going to give us some uncommon rarity genomes, which I think will actually give us a little bit of a boost when it comes to lifespan on our clones. Speaking of lifespans, our current clones will only live for 51 days, which is actually not bad. We'll take 51 days. And we've just welcomed Fergus Brown to the team. Thank you very much, Fergus. We definitely need you here. Greetings, Overseer. This is the command station once again. Congratulations on your first success. This is the first partially successful human clone in almost 3 years. This, however, is just the beginning. These crews still have limited lifespans, so we're surely going to need more. Expand the population to 20. Sure, why not? Let's go ahead and expand the population to 20. Who ever thought that just surviving on a clone workforce is going to work out? But I think we're in a really good position. We have an abundance of power, abundance of oxygen, although this is misleading, extremely misleading, and I'll show you why. Oxygen, so we have our grid A, which is this grid right here. We have a surplus of 2 oxygen, and grid B is where we have 6 oxygen. And now, in order for us to utilize or like share the oxygen across the board, we have to connect a tunnel, but we don't want to necessarily do that. We don't need tunnels snaking across the map. You know, this is nice and clean, and I'm kind of happy with this. Now, we do have an issue. Our one mining sub is inactive, so we will need to send out some more. So I guess we can go over there. There we go, give you something to do. And we've welcomed Linda O'Sullivan to the team as well, getting us up to 20. So the first clones have been a partial success. Mutation in the genetic sequence means our lifespans are shortened. So we'll need to clone a steady supply to ensure the facility remains functional. This is exactly the start we were hoping for. The sacrifice you are making is a great benefit for humanity. Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that we are a benefit. And on top of that, Overseer, before the construction of the central hub, our scouting units spotted a number of nearby biomes which are likely to contain new species and resources we need to further our research. We have the kelp forests, which our scans indicate the presence of aluminum here, which is vital for our more advanced construction efforts, along with species which may help us push the boundaries of our cloning technology. We also have coral reefs, which appear to contain a good amount of useful resources and species to support our efforts. I'm curious, some of these resources are finite, so I wonder if we can actually continue. All right, we also have one of the coal extractor teams has found a coal vein unlike anything we've seen before. It's much harder than the rest of the coal surrounding it. Extracting this from the vein could result in considerably higher yield than usual, but it could require one of the crew to descend through the bore to hole to assess it properly. You know what? Let's risk it. We'll allow the crew to go down. The assessment was a success. However, there was a casualty as a result. The vein was deep, but much less stable than anticipated. One of the crew got trapped when exploring the deposit. They're out now, but will need to spend some time in the hospital to recover. So this is going to unlock a new feature. We need a hospital. We've also, technology is the foundation of our mission. To survive in these conditions and to achieve our scientific aims, we must progress our research capabilities. We have to unlock tier 2 of technology. Okay, I guess that's not that hard. To unlock it, we just need 150 science. Easy peasy. But we need to unlock the hospital, so let's go ahead and set that up right now. And we will build our first hospital off the edge right here. I think it's a perfect spot for it, so let's go ahead and connect that up. We'll also share the power over, and this is going to be another place that we're going to have to staff, and we're moving in the right direction. We have one more to go, and we have some additional John Dories and rosefish, so it's going to work out. We are extracting at a slower rate for the tier 2 of the uncommon, but that's okay. We can make use of that. So let's go ahead and assign 2 of those, and we will begin. We've also welcomed Frank to the team. That's a very generic name. All right, we do need to get somebody over here, though, so let's send up, who do we send over? Briege. And we have Prash. He's healing up 22%. I think it says it's going to take 16 days to heal him. That's an awful long time. And we've gotten an alert. No crew in the darkness for 25 days, which is actually going to help our crew relations. But we've run into another issue. We have 2 crew which are unhoused. So I guess it is time for us to build another quarter. Now, as mentioned, I do like things to kind of be nice and symmetrical, so we'll take advantage of this. And we will set up a connecting tunnel. There we go. Perfect. Unfortunately, though, our first uncommon level clone failed. It's never a good sign, so let's hope the second one kind of comes through. But it looks like we're in a good position. I think we're going to end the episode just around here. We might see if we can get Shane McKeever. Ooh, that's a tough name. We'll go ahead and start the next one. We are in a good position. We've kind of achieved self-sustainability. We are a little short on food, so you know what? Just before I forget, because I will forget, let's pop down another carbohydrate farm. We'll connect that to the power, and we'll need to staff that ASAP. We never want to run out of food. They get angry when we don't have food, which I totally understand. I think everybody should be angry if they don't have food. All right, but going back to what I was saying, I think we're going to end the episode right here. I'm going to try to keep these episodes nice, short, and sweet. I'm not going to try to utilize as many jump cuts as we have. So it's something that we'll have to keep in mind. Now, please feel free to leave a like. Let me know what you think of the game. Let me know what you think of the content. And let me know if you think of any other games that are like this. I'm a huge fan of city builders. I'm not very good, if I will say myself. But this is a way for me to challenge myself and become better. So it just works in my favor. And of course, if you're feeling up to it, I would love for you to subscribe. Just lets me know I'm doing a good job. And I would appreciate that. But if not, that's okay. We're all friends. That's all that matters. And finally, just one last thing to say. Ciao for now, everybody.